Hello, welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen, and today we are making another tallow soap. Last video we did a very simple tallow soap recipe, and today we're kicking it up a notch. We're adding shea butter to the formulation to make it a little more bougie, a little, fancier label appeal. Plus shea butter is just so awesome, right? We love shea butter. So for the liquid portion, I'm going to do milk and oil again, and we're going to use heavy cream for our milk and oil portion because I love a milk soap and cream is luxurious, and I thought it paired really well with the shea butter for all the skin properties, plus tallow is great for your skin, all the goodness. I love it. I'm making my own little proprietary fragrant blend, and so I'm not going to share any labels, but I'm fragrancing at 5% of the total volume of the soap for the recipe I'm making today, which will be down in the description box below. As per usual, most of my videos, I've been sharing recipes a lot lately. I hope you're enjoying that. And for the colors, let's see. For the first one from Nurture Soap is Hollywood Pink. And Nurture Soap is now called Nurture Handmade. Same company, different name, but absolutely stunning. This pink is, it's lovely. And to pair with it, I have this, it's called Violet Blue. So it's kind of a purple, kind of a blue. I love it, and I can't remember where I got this from, but these two colors together I thought looked really pretty. It sounded like it went with cream and shea butter to me. I'm thinking about doing a hanger swirl in here to make it just swirly and lovely. So that's what's in my mind, and I have to get everything pulled together. And let's come back and make some fancy tallow soap with shea butter. And I did want to mention, if you are enjoying the content on my channel and the recipes I'm providing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It sends YouTube algorithm the message that you're enjoying my content, and it encourages me to just keep making more content for you all. So I really appreciate the subscription. Thanks. And we are back, and it's time to measure our oils for today's recipe. And the first oil going in here is home rendered tallow. And I have 8.5 ounces or 241 grams of tallow. And the last tallow soap recipe I made, I was wondering if it would speed up trace, and it behaved really well. I think the fragrance was part of that behavior. Citrus fragrances tend to slow down trace. So we'll keep an eye on it today. My home rendered tallow did have some salt in it from the cook down, and so a few times that I've used this, it has speeded up trace. So we're going to keep an eye out for that today. But there's the tallow. Our next oil is coconut. All right, I need 6.8 ounces or 193 grams of coconut oil. All right, and my next hard butter is shea butter, and I need 5.10 ounces or 145 grams of shea butter. And I buy it in bulk, and it smells very earthy. This is unrefined shea butter. You could use refined shea butter. It's all what you have and your preference. All right, that's it for the hard butters and oils. So I'm going to give this a pre-melt, and we'll come back for our liquid portion. And for the liquid portion, our first oil is castor oil, and I need 1.7 ounces or 48 grams of castor. And last but not least, I need olive oil, 11.9 ounces or 337 grams. That is it for the oil portion of the recipe. Let me go grab my additives and we'll get them in here and get on to making some soap. All right, we're back. I've got my dry additives, my cream, gorgeous, thick, luscious. And in my last tallow video, I explained the milk and oil method. I take whatever lye amount you're using, whether you size up or down this recipe or use exactly the same recipe. I measure out the amount of water needed to mix with the lye, and any leftover liquid volume I use in milk in oil. So that is how I do that. Let's get this in here. We got kaolin clay, about a tablespoon, because I love it. Clay gives a nice slippy feel to the lather, and it's good for your skin and all of that. And colloidal oats. because I think oats are fabulous. If you don't have an oat allergy, if you do, just leave it out. It won't change any of the soap measurements. You can just omit the additives and you're totally fine. And in goes 4 ounces of cream. You could use half and half. You could use goat milk, you know, any sort of milk additive for the milk and oil method. You can get so creative with that. So I really encourage you to try something fun and unusual. It just kind of kicks your soap up a notch. Let's get this blended up so we can get making soap. And I do like to pre-blend my dry ingredients in here and let them sit for a minute while I gather all my end supplies and get my colors prepped and everything. And that way I feel like the dry ingredients can kind of plump up in the oils and be really well and incorporated so you don't have any dry pockets in your soap. All right, we are back, and the same drill as my last tallow soap. I made this a few days ago and it got lye lint on the top. And to my water, this does have sugar, sodium lactate, and silk fibers when I made it. And so we're going to strain out the lye lint, and I'm going to proceed with caution. Again, my little proprietary fragrance blend doesn't necessarily slow trace down like my last tallow soap. So we're going to see if this behaves. And if it does, I want to do I said I was going to do a hanger swirl, but I want to do a spoon handle swirl. I had this out on my last tallow soap and it behaved really well and I didn't get to use it. So I'm going to use my spoon handle today to swirl this soap. So let's get into it. So I'm just going to pulse and stir. And again, the lye reacting with the milk, it beiges up, but that color will bounce back after it goes through saponification. It's just a reaction. It's kind of pretty though. All right, let's get to our colors and get this in the mold. Back, it's the next day, and I love that sloopy swirly top. That made me really happy when it kind of flopped over like that. I don't know, it just appealed to me. I didn't do anything to the top of this. It stayed nice and shiny, but I did put this through gel phase. I put it on my heating pad and put a cooler over the top. If you don't have a cooler, you can put a cardboard box and a towel, just anything to keep the heat mass inside to force a gel phase. I particularly like to gel, even though this had cream in it. So let's get this out and see how the spoon swirl came out on the inside. We are back with the lovely Olga, and I wanted to show you the side of this. You can really see the what I use for colloidal oats, which is actually a very finely ground whole oat flour, and I will leave a link for the kind I use down below. You can buy actual colloidal oats, which is just a super micronized grind, but it is the whole oat including the germ, and that's what makes a colloidal oat. So I find this oat flour to be much less expensive and work just as fine for me in soap. Again, I'll leave a link down below for the kind that I like to use, and it saves me quite a bit of money because I put it in most of my soaps. All right. Oh, pretty. Look at that. Swirly goodness. Love that. These are pretty. And with the addition of the shea butter in there and the heavy cream, I think these are just decadent. So if you watched my previous tallow video, that was a more basic recipe, but so luxurious. I used buttermilk in that one. Today we used cream, but I think they are both fabulous. I love working with tallow. And this one did not speed up either. I think, again, my fragrant blend helped keep this moving along, not too fast. Typically with most purchased tallows, they don't speed up trace, but again, my home rendered, I don't know, it tended to speed it up, but I'm very happy to report that this did not speed on me, hence the beautiful swirliness. And of course, shea butter is so skin loving and behaves well in soap. It is a wonderful soap oil. So I'm glad we put that in here. These are luxe. Leave a comment down below if you love making tallow soap or shea butter in your soap. I would love to hear what you do in your soap studios at home. And these are just a little bit tacky today, so I'll probably wait a day before I come in and do the beveling and stamping, all the things I love to do to a bar of soap, which are optional. You don't have to do any of that, but I love it. I love all the extras. Well, I hope that you give the recipe a try. If you do and you love it, let me know. I would love to hear feedback from you all. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful day.